Hi, my name is Amber Kivett. I'm here today with Lifepro Fitness to share with you how their assortment of massage guns can help with any kind of elbow pain, from tennis elbow to little league elbow to golfer's elbow. So what is the difference between these three? Well, quite simply, it all is based on which side of the elbow we're dealing with. So I have marked my arm for you. If we're dealing with lateral epicondylitis, which is otherwise known as tennis elbow, it is going to be located right here as far as the pain goes. If we are dealing with little leaguer's elbow, we're going to have pain throughout the whole line through here. If you can see the X on my elbow here, that is referred to as golfer's elbow, which is medial epicondylitis. So with different activities, even though they have the name golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, little league elbow, that doesn't mean that you're going to be using or having those kind of injuries related to those sports specifically. It's just commonly noticed in those sports, and so that's hence how it got its name. Any kind of elbow, for the most part, on the outside lateral edge of the arm is referred to as tennis elbow. Well, with the symptoms, because of the nerve being really close there, otherwise people refer to that as the funny bone, the nerve runs right through there and innervates all the way through down into the hands. So a lot of times, individuals can suffer from carpal tunnel syndrome, have numbness, tingling in the hands, into the elbow, into the forearm, but it's all very similar to the same symptoms with tennis elbow. Same thing with golfer's elbow, except you get numbness and tingling to the inside of the elbow and innervating in these two fingers right here primarily with the ulnar nerve. So the neat thing about the different massage guns is a lot of that is an inflammation process to the tendon. In little leaguer elbow, it's resorting from athletes pretty much pitching or throwing too much at such a young age. So if we look at youth sports as it is right now, and there are youth sports is at a height right now in participation. So for Little League, just alone, there are over 2 million children participating in Little League organizations nationwide. Of those 2 million children, 26% of those children will suffer from elbow pain at some point or another, and those individuals average in age from 9 to 12. So it's really young that we're starting to see a lot of children getting hurt between, extremity injuries altogether as a result of sports. But don't be mistaken that you have to play tennis or that you have to play golf or baseball in order to experience these injuries. It's quite common for occupational, so those that turn a wrench or work with screwdrivers, work with vibrating equipment a lot for long periods of occupational standards. There's a lot of stuff that can cause weakness in the hands, which then transfers up into the forearm. So what I'd like to share with you are the different massage guns that Lifepro Fitness offers for treatment at home, and all of these different conditions relating to elbow pain, even forearm into the hands, can be relieved and eliminated with use of these massage guns and some home exercise programs. I'm going to show you some anatomy here right quick so that you can see exactly what we're dealing with. So if we're looking at the arm, we're going to notice pain right here on the outside, right in this joint right here, okay? When we're dealing with the inside of the elbow, we're going to shift over here, and you're going to have pain right around in here. But as you can see, there is a lot of musculature that goes on here in the different arm regions, backside and on the front side. And we have a lot of other musculature that affects how these muscles work. So what we want to make sure that we're doing with the massage guns is that we're not only working the elbow joint, but we're working the arm all the way into the hands and working up into the shoulder, okay? And so if we're looking at the front of the anatomy, again, we're working through here all the way down into the elbow and into the hands. There's a lot that goes on there. If you also notice, there's a lot of these structures. So a tendon attaches a muscle to a bone. These are all tendons right here. And the muscles that activate those to work, to make our hand work the way it does, all of these muscles are all included up here. So anything that we have going on at the elbow can also happen at the hand, can also happen at the shoulder. So what is really important is that we're treating the whole joint, the whole chain. So here we are looking at the different massage guns. Right here we've got the Pulse FX, and this is my new favorite toy. I have several of the different Lifepro Fitness massage guns, and this one is my new favorite. We also have a variety of different tips that will work with the Pulse FX. And then we also have the Sonic LX here tonight. Several different attachments that come with this massage gun, several different settings. On this one, this goes up to 9 levels, if I remember right. Very easy to turn on. And this doesn't have an attachment in it right now, but we're gonna get there. So right now, it's on a setting of a 6, okay? And once we get an attachment in there, you're gonna start to hear that work, okay? On this one, we have 3 levels. So as you can see, it's a very quiet operating unit as compared to competitors being much louder. The speed number 2, level number 3, and then we push that button one more time and it drops all the way back down to the low level. And then just flip the switch and we turn off. The nice thing about this massage gun is it also pivots. So I'm going to share with that here right now, right quick. Bear with me here. There we go. So if we push this button, then we push and it pivots up and down. And it doesn't take a lot of extra pressure for me to do the adjustment here. I like to have it pivoted more on an angle because then you can hinge it right here on the finger. It doesn't take any pressure, any grip at all in order to operate this. So for me, just for demonstration purposes right here, I'm just gonna show you here on this X, this would be referred to as tennis elbow. So I'm gonna flip the switch, and again, very, very quiet. And so I'm just gonna start right here, very gentle. And we're just running down the whole length of the hand. What I like to tell people is open and close your hand while you're operating, and you can just kind of let the massage gun move itself. You don't have to push. So it's really important not to push into the tissue, just to let the massage gun do what it's supposed to do and just vibrating. And I don't know that you can see how much vibration is happening right here, but there's quite a bit, and I'm on a low setting. So here's high setting. There you can see things really working. Okay, super aggressive, really potent. I can feel this all the way into the tips of my finger. Now, what's really important to remember, when we are dealing with tennis elbow or any kind of a joint injury, we don't want to go through the joint with high pressure. I always recommend start with a low level and see how you tolerate that. And as you get comfortable with that, then you can increase the level, or we just change out the tip. So by taking out the tip, this is on, again, the Pulse FX. You'll find it down at the bottom in the carousel. Any of the massage guns will work great for you. We also have one that's heated. I don't have that one here to showcase for you tonight, but it's got phenomenal feedback. It's one of the newest innovations out on the market, so you can heat the joint at the same time that you're actually using the therapy. So it's a 2-in-1 kind of deal. It's a great, great tool. Okay, so again, I just pulled that tip off. Super easy. I'm going to put this one, it looks like a little cone head. We're going to stick that right on in there. We're going to push it and make sure it's in there all the way. And then again, flip the switch. Yep, we got it in. And I'm going to start again, low level. There we are on that X marks the spot. That is where that tendon attaches to the epicondyle of the elbow, which is where the pain is normally at. But again, when you're using the massage gun for the point of treating tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, little leaguer elbow, you don't really want to put a lot of pressure directly on the hot spot. So I always tell my clients, and I always tell people that I work with, wherever you are feeling pain is your weakest point, but that's typically not where the source of the problem lies. So what I want you to think about trying is with this cone tip is focusing out here in the hands and focusing on all of those little forearm extension muscles, because it's the extenders that attach up here, and those are the muscles that get overused and aggravated to the point of pushing on the nerve, and then we have pain. So we're going to start on a low level, and again, you can just teeter-totter this, or for ergonomic purposes for myself right now, I'm going to hold it underhand. So you can do a variety of different things in order to hold the massage gun in order to hit the right points that you're wanting to hit. So I'm just going to start here at the bottom of my wrist, and I'm going to just move up very slowly. And because I'm talking to just the general population, I'm not going to refer to specific muscle names because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. We just want to make sure that we're getting all the muscles in the forearm. Now, what is really important to understand is we're getting much more innervation with the cone tip versus with the round tip. The round tip is more of a dampener. So it works really good around bony prominences, but this one is really uncomfortable around bony prominences. So in other words, you don't want to take it directly on the bone. It doesn't feel good, so don't do that. But anyhow, you can run this up and down the arm at a very slow pace. I like to say 1 inch per second is ideal. And as I'm doing that, I'm also kind of working the hand. And in working the hand, we're working any toxic fluids out of those spaces that are trapped in there because of the fascial connective chain. So we've got the arm sling, which is referred to as the myofascial chain. I know I'm talking over some heads out there, but the most important thing to remember is connective tissue. That connective tissue goes all the way down here into your fingertips, comes all the way up here at the neck, to the back of the head, all the way across the chest. So it's all related. So you want to make sure that you're hitting this whole area very slowly, fast if you're wanting to warm up. So that's another thing. If we are dealing with pain, we want to go very slow, 1 inch per second, so that we can calm things down. If you're an athlete and you're getting ready to go out and pitch, or you're getting ready to go swing the club and drive some balls, or maybe you are in occupation and you're a mechanic and you're wanting to go out and you're getting warmed up for using your different tools, whether it's a manual screwdriver or whether it is a power screwdriver, it doesn't matter. That manual dexterity, everything that we have to do with moving these fingers, all of that exists up in here. So it's good to warm those muscles up. So you don't have to be hurt or have pain to use this or to buy this product. You do it for prevention of all of that stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually show you real quick on the Pulse FX. We have this, I like to call this the goalpost. This is actually not a bad tool, attachment to use with that tool. What you can do is you can actually run it up the forearm with it split. So you can get in 2 different muscle grooves at the same time, as opposed to taking your time with the one tip. You can hit 2 at the same time. But you have to remember, when it's going super fast, you have to, if you have a smaller wrist, it's harder to keep in positioning to where you're actually getting the therapeutic benefits. So this is the dampener tip for this one. So it's a nice squishy round ball. And so when you do run into bony areas right here, bony area right here, very sensitive spot where the X marks the spot, the dampener means that it softens the vibration. So it works and contours around those body parts a little bit better than what the cone tip does by itself. So it's less painful for those who are experiencing the treatment. So if you have a high level of pain and you're still wanting to get the therapy, use the dampener tip, okay? Or, better yet, that was on low level. If you don't need the aggressive tool of the Pulse FX, then totally go with the Sonic LX, because this is truly my favorite for the wide variety of clients that I work with. For if you're an athlete, I would say a junior high, high school, or a weekend warrior CrossFitter, this is your go-to. If you're senior citizen, if you are sensitive with fibromyalgia, because again, elbow pain exists. It's one of the pressure points or one of the sensitive points with fibromyalgia. So you don't have to have a diagnosis of tennis elbow in order to buy one of these tools. The cool part, the cool part about the Sonic LX is it comes with all of these different tips, and it comes with this amazing carry case, so you can carry all this with you wherever you want to go. You can actually check this into your luggage if you are traveling or flying. I did that a couple weeks ago for Thanksgiving, flew all of this with me when I was on the road so I could use it for the travel aches and pains. But anyways, and it has a wall charger, so the battery is internal. You don't have to switch out the battery like competitors. But it has several different tips. So we've got 7 different tips. We have these two. I'm going to compare apples to oranges here, meaning the size. This one is from the Pulse FX. This one is from the Sonic LX. Okay, so very similar, a dampener tip, but this is my favorite. So if you have the tennis elbow injury, or you have if you have elbow pain in general, this right here is my favorite tip to use on anybody and everybody with any kind of joint pain around a bony prominence. So that would be your elbow pain. So I'm going to show you how to use that one. You just push on the end, make sure it's in all the way. Sometimes I'll give it a little twist just to make sure it's locked in, and it is locked in. The gun is already showing up as being on. You have a little flip switch here at the bottom, and if you can see, it has this little plug-in point. So this is where the adapter goes so that you can plug it into the wall to charge it. I know that you're probably thinking battery power. So I can plug this in at the beginning of the week. I use all of my different massage guns. I run a private practice in sports medicine with a pain management niche. So I see people in pain every single day. This guy right here, I can plug this in on a Monday, and this will last me 6 to 8 hours of operation every day for at least 4 days before it dies. So there is no other battery that I'm aware of from the other competitors that I've already tested out. The other competitors, I have to switch out batteries within a half an hour of turning on the tool. Both of these will easily last me an entire day of running these 6 to 8 hours with clients and patients. So that in itself is great value, because you can't buy time. You can't buy time in a treatment. When you're getting ready to warm up on the field, you want to make sure that you've got action here. So battery power is awesome. So we flip the switch on the bottom. Now we're running. We are on a speed 5 right now. I'm going to lower this speed to a level 0. So now we're off. So you don't have to flip off the bottom in order to turn it all the way off. So you can just lower it to a 0 until you're done using it. But let's say you're going to take a break, or you got to switch patients, different locations on the patient, different sides. You don't have to turn the switch all the way off. You can just drop down to a 0. So level 1, for somebody who has a very high level of pain, if you are a medical professional, if you've got somebody with a pain threshold of like a 6 or 7 out of 10, you can use this dampener tip, and it works really well. So again, I'm just and you can see a little bit of the vibration here. Now this does not hurt. I do a lot of massage body work, so my hands, this is one of the reasons why I bought this massage gun, was so I could maintain my hands. This does not bother me though. I'm on top of the bone here. It does not hurt. The round ball will hurt, and the cone hurts. So again, this is my favorite dampener tip, and I can get right here on the joint. And again, I'm not pushing. I'm just kind of letting it operate itself. So you can grab it overhand. Ergonomically, I also like to use it underhand, okay? It saves me a lot of pressure when I'm hovering over a client and just running it up and down the backside of their body. So on the hands, if we're working on the hands, okay, just opening and closing while you're massaging different joints, because your hand has a lot of different joints in there, a lot of different carpal bones in the hand. And again, all these nerves all originate through the wrist here in the carpal tunnel area. So with the elbow, we're just going nice and slow. So you can see I'm only on level 1 here. So let's ramp this baby up and see what happens. So we're halfway up. Okay, easier to control. So if you are on a low level and you're struggling with controlling it, amp up the intensity with the speed. It doesn't make the treatment any more uncomfortable. It just, it's a lot easier to control, okay? And again, I'm opening and closing my hand at the same time so that I am working out toxicity, fluids, but I'm also engaging circulation into those areas, which is delivering nutrient-rich blood to those areas. So the X on the spot here on the outside, that's your tennis elbow. your golfer's elbow right here on the inside. And again, that's the funny bone area, so just be very careful when you're working the elbow and the forearm, okay? This is a lot of soft mass, a lot of blood vessels run through here. Okay, but you can really see, and again, I'm only halfway up on intensity. So, let's go on up and see what happens. So we're 9, so 9 levels of intensity. I don't know of any other massage guns on the market that have that much variability, but I can tell you that this is aggressive enough to do some good healing and to provide some good recovery. And you can see how much that's vibrating through. Okay, so again, we're going to work above the elbow, because tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, little leaguer elbow is not just about the elbow, it's above and below it as well. This is a very sensitive area up in here, so do use some extra caution. We tend to be more sensitive because of the fascial connective tissue up here. And you can even come all the way up into the shoulder for tennis elbow. Loosen this up, because if this gets tight up here, it's going to get tight down here as well. All right, so in review, we have 2 different massage guns that we're featuring here today. You can look at the bottom of your carousel and find a variety of different massage guns available through Lifepro Fitness. They do have a lifetime warranty on them, and customer service is phenomenal. Cannot speak highly enough of their customer service. I'll be honest with you though, I haven't had to resort out to anything for any defects on any of the massage guns or the whole body vibration platforms that I've bought. I think at this point with Lifepro Fitness, I own about 10 of their devices, and I've not had any trouble with any of them. I have worked with their competitors and have had some challenges through the past with those, but I'm very, very pleased with the Lifepro Fitness line. So let me show you again what we're dealing with here. This is our Sonic LX. Comes in this wonderful carry case. Again, you're coming here with several different heads. The thing here is you don't have to take well, I take that back. You do have to take that one off. Okay, so let's correct that. But as you're looking here, you're seeing that we have a variety of different tips here. And I'm taking this other tip off at the same time that I'm holding the camera and speaking to you. So as you can understand, I did that all with one hand, so it does not take a lot of force in order to do that. That slides right in there. This is a flat tip. You can also use this on the forearm and in the upper arm, but you don't want to use this around the elbow joint because it's not very soft around the edges. We've got a flat paddle tip. We've got our goal post, as I referred to it on the other one, more of a Y as opposed to a goal post. We have this cone tip, so you can use this. This is definitely not as blunt as the other one. So here's our other one. It's not as blunt as I'm sorry. This one is easier to get into some of those tight grooves. And what I'm referring to, if we're looking at the anatomy here, we're trying to look at what can get into these different spaces, different muscles. And I'm not going to talk about different specific muscles here tonight because the point is just to share that there are several different grooves. And so this right here works really good in getting to some of those grooves, okay, and especially into the hands. So if you are a therapist, if you're a massage therapist, a bodywork therapist or physical therapist, whatever type of therapist you might be, or even a doctor, a surgeon, your hands get tired after a while. And so to be able to use these different settings, these different tips on your hand and in your forearm will help in eliminating or minimizing elbow pain, whether it's occupational or athletically related. Again, if you're an athlete, it is an essential thing to have in your ball bag, included with your ball bat and all of your other pieces of equipment. This should be a regular piece of equipment traveling with you for warm-ups, also for cool downs, so that you have a way to prevent the injuries. So Thank you so much for joining in today. And if you would hit subscribe at the bottom, then you can follow us for more updated topics in which we're covering with the massage guns, the whole body vibration platforms, and the vibrating foam rollers. A variety of different tools for your convenience in order to be able to treat yourself for different medical conditions without having to go in for medical intervention. Thank you all and have a wonderful day.